What's the moment a woman realizes she actually lost you? When your silence becomes a decision, not a reaction. Not your anger, not your explanations, not even you saying goodbye. It's when she checks her phone and sees nothing. No missed calls, no desperate texts, no trace of you waiting. That's when it hits her. You're not playing games. You've made a choice. Here's what most men don't understand. When you were chasing her, calling her, trying to fix things, you gave her control. She could take her time. She could make you wait. She knew you'd always respond. But the second you stop, the second you disappear without drama, without begging, without one last desperate message, that's when her world shifts. As a woman, let me tell you what she was really expecting. Emotional chaos. She thought you'd blow up her phone, send those long paragraphs about how much she hurt you, show up with one last desperate attempt, because that's what validates her. That confirms she still has power over you. But when you give her nothing, when there's no anger, no explanation, no reaction at all, it breaks the script she had in her head. Here's the truth most women won't say out loud. When you were available, consistent, always there, she built her entire sense of security around one assumption. You'd always come back, no matter what she did, no matter how she treated you, no matter how long she made you wait. She believed you were a constant. Women are conditioned from a young age to measure their worth by attention, social media, dating apps, the constant flood of messages. When you were chasing, you were feeding that loop. Every text you sent, every call you made, every time you tried to explain yourself, you were confirming her power. You were showing her that she mattered more to you than your own peace, and she got comfortable with that dynamic. She expected a pattern. You get upset. You pull back for a day, maybe two. Then you come back with an apology or an explanation. She's seen this before with other men. She thought you were the same. But here's what broke her expectations. You didn't follow the script. You didn't play the role she assigned you. You simply stepped back and stayed back. When days turned into weeks and your silence remained absolute, no reaction, no anger, no reaching out, something shifted in her mind. This wasn't a tactic. This wasn't a game. This was a man who made a decision and stuck to it. And that's when the panic started to creep in. Because if you're not reacting, if you're not fighting to get her back, if you're not proving yourself anymore, then maybe, just maybe, you've actually moved on. And that thought, that's the one she can't handle. Let me paint you a picture of what happens inside her head. It usually starts small. She checks her phone. Nothing. She tells herself she doesn't care. But then she checks again. And again. The absence starts to echo louder than your presence ever did. She might scroll through old messages, looking for clues. She might check your social media, seeing if you've posted anything. She's searching for proof that you're still thinking about her. But when she finds nothing, when there's just silence, that's when it really hits. At first, she's annoyed. He's being dramatic. He'll get over it. He always does. But as time passes, that confidence starts to crack. She begins replaying conversations. Not your mistakes anymore, her own. That's the shift. That's when she realizes something changed. She starts remembering the times she canceled plans, the times she kept you waiting, the times she took you for granted, because she knew you'd still be there. She starts comparing you to every other man who chased her. They all came back. They all broke eventually. They all gave her another chance to feel powerful. But you didn't. And that makes you different. That makes you the one who got away. Not because you left, but because you chose to leave and never looked back. You became the exception, and exceptions stick in our minds far longer than the rule. Here's what hits her hardest. You didn't need closure. You didn't need the last word. You didn't need her to understand. You simply decided your peace was worth more than her chaos, and you acted on it. That level of self-respect? It's rare. And now that she sees it, she can't unsee it. She can't go back to thinking of you as the guy who would always chase her. You became the man who chose himself. Here's what makes your silence so powerful. It's not manipulation. It's not a tactic. It's authenticity. You're not silent to get a reaction. You're silent because you genuinely chose yourself. And women can feel the difference between a man who's playing games and a man who's genuinely moved on. We can sense it in the energy. When you were chasing, there was desperation. When you went silent from a place of strength, there was peace. And peace is magnetic in a way desperation never is. When you were chasing, your energy was focused outward, on her, on the relationship, on fixing things. But when you went silent, that energy turned inward. You started focusing on yourself, your goals, your growth, your peace. And that shift in energy, she can sense it even through the distance. Even if she can't see you, even if she doesn't know what you're doing, she can feel that something fundamental changed. You're no longer orbiting around her. You're orbiting around yourself. Before, you were predictable. She knew exactly how to get your attention, how to pull you back in. But silence makes you unpredictable. She doesn't know what you're thinking. She doesn't know what you're doing. She doesn't know if you're hurting or thriving. And that uncertainty is what keeps you in her mind. Because humans hate uncertainty. We want to resolve it. We want to know. And when we can't know, we obsess. Your attention, which was once abundant and freely given, is now completely unavailable. And humans always want what they can't have. Not because they truly value it, but because scarcity triggers something primal in us. Your absence created scarcity. And scarcity created desire. Not necessarily real desire, not the kind that leads to genuine love and respect, but desire nonetheless. The desire to know if she still has power over you. Do you recognize this pattern in your own experience? Drop a comment and let me know. Because what I'm about to share next will show you exactly what's going through her mind during your silence and why it changes everything. As a woman, I can break down exactly what happens in her psychology when you go silent. There are 3 distinct stages she goes through, and understanding these will help you see why your silence was the most powerful move you could have made. At first, she's in denial. She tells herself you're just upset and you'll get over it. She might even feel a bit relieved. Finally, some space. She's not worried yet because she still believes in her power over you. She's convinced you'll reach out. You always have before. This stage usually lasts a few days. During this time, she's actually quite comfortable. She might even enjoy the break from the relationship drama. She's telling her friends, he just needs time to cool off. She's confident. She's calm. She has no idea what's coming. This is when things start to shift. Your continued silence begins to confuse her. She starts checking your social media, asking mutual friends about you. Not because she suddenly loves you, but because she's losing control of the narrative. She expected you to break by now, but you haven't. And that doesn't fit her understanding of how this works. Every day that passes without contact is another crack in her confidence. She might send a casual text, something light. Hey, how are you? She's testing the waters. She wants to see if you'll respond immediately like you used to. And when you don't, when that message sits there, unread or read but unanswered, that's when the confusion deepens. Because this isn't the you she knew. This isn't the man who would drop everything to talk to her. Who is this person? And where did the old you go? This is where the real shift happens. She's no longer confused. She's panicked. Because she's starting to realize something terrifying. You're not coming back. You didn't just step back temporarily. You genuinely walked away. And now she's the one sitting there wondering if she made the biggest mistake of her life. The panic manifests in different ways. She might start reaching out more. She might bring up old memories. She might even apologize, not because she's genuinely sorry, but because she needs to restore the order she understood. Here are the exact questions running through her mind. Did I misjudge him? She's replaying every interaction, every conversation, every time you showed up, and she didn't fully appreciate it. She's realizing that maybe, just maybe, you weren't the problem. Maybe she took a good man for granted, and that realization stings, because if you weren't the problem, then she was. And that's a hard truth to swallow. What is he doing right now? The not knowing is eating at her. Is he thinking about her? Has he moved on? Is he seeing someone else? The silence gives her no answers, and that drives her crazy. When you were chasing, she always knew where you stood. Now, she has no idea. And that uncertainty is unbearable. Every time she sees your name, every time something reminds her of you, her mind spirals. What's he doing? Who's he with? Is he better off without me? Can I get him back? This is the question that reveals everything. She's not asking because she suddenly realized she loves you. She's asking because she wants to know if she still has power. Can she text you and get a response? Can she call and hear your voice? Can she pull you back in? And when she realizes the answer might be no, that's when the real panic sets in. Because losing someone isn't just about losing them. It's about losing the power you had over them. What if I really lost him? This is the final question, the one that keeps her up at night. Because for the first time, she's confronting the possibility that you're not just upset, you're done. And once a man of value is truly done, there's no going back. She knows this, and it terrifies her. Because she can't undo what she did. She can't take back the times she didn't show up. She can't erase the pattern of taking you for granted. All she can do now is live with the consequences. Here's the psychological principle at play. Your silence created what psychologists call an open loop in her mind. Humans are wired to seek closure. When a story is left unfinished, our brains become obsessed with completing it. Your silence left the story unfinished. And now her brain can't let it go. It's constantly running in the background, trying to make sense of what happened, trying to find the ending. This is a proven psychological phenomenon. People remember uncompleted tasks better than completed ones. Your relationship ended without drama, without closure, without a final explosive argument. It just ended. And that lack of closure means her brain keeps replaying it, trying to find the ending. She's stuck in a loop she can't escape because you never gave her the resolution she was expecting. She's comparing you to every other man in her life, the ones who kept chasing, the ones who couldn't let go, the ones who gave her multiple chances. And you're different. You're the one who walked away with dignity. And that makes you memorable. That makes you the standard against which she'll measure every man who comes after. Every new guy she meets will be compared to the man who respected himself enough to walk away. Every time she sees something that reminds her of you, her mind spirals into what if. What if she had appreciated you more? What if she had been more consistent? What if she reaches out now? These what ifs are torture, and they're entirely self-inflicted. Because you're not doing anything. You're simply living your life in peace. You're not trying to make her feel bad. You're not posting things to make her jealous. You're just gone. And that absence is more powerful than any action could ever be. Let me be crystal clear about something. If you're listening to this hoping it'll make her come back, you're missing the point. This isn't about winning her back. This isn't about making her regret losing you. This is about something far more important, recognizing your own value. Because the moment you understand your worth, you stop needing external validation. You stop needing her to see it. You just know it. The real victory isn't her coming back. The real victory is you no longer needing her to. It's you waking up one day and realizing that your peace, your purpose, your self-respect, these things matter more than any relationship that didn't honor them. That's growth. That's transformation. That's power. And once you have that, once you really feel it in your bones, nothing can take it away from you. Here's what happens if she reaches out. You'll realize something profound. You no longer need what you were once desperate to save. You've grown past it. You've evolved beyond it. And that person she's trying to reach, he doesn't exist anymore. He transformed into someone stronger, someone more centered, someone who chose himself. She's reaching for a version of you that no longer exists. And that's not her fault. That's just what happens when someone grows. By walking away with dignity, by choosing silence over chaos, by protecting your peace, you set a new standard for how you allow people to treat you. And once you experience the freedom of that standard, you'll never go back to accepting less. That's the real gift your silence gave you. It wasn't about her. It was about you learning what you deserve and refusing to settle for anything less. Your silence gave you back your power, Now the question is, how do you keep it? The moment you went silent, you redirected your energy. Instead of focusing on her, on the relationship, on what went wrong, you focused on yourself, your goals, your growth, your peace. Keep doing that. Let your purpose be louder than any relationship drama. Let your life be so full, so rich, so meaningful that no one person has the power to shake your foundation. She might reach out. She might send a casual text, a late-night message, and "I miss you." These are tests. Tests to see if she still has access to your emotions. If you respond immediately, if you give her attention without her earning it back, you reset the dynamic. You give away your power, and all that growth, all that healing, all that progress gets erased in a moment. So don't do it. Hold your ground. Protect what you've built. You went silent for a reason. Not to punish her, but to protect yourself. Remember that reason. Remember how you felt when you were constantly chasing, constantly trying, constantly being the only one who cared. Your silence was a boundary. Maintain it until someone proves through consistent action, not words, that they're worthy of your energy again. And even then, proceed with wisdom. Because patterns don't change overnight. Your silence wasn't the end of your story. It was the beginning of your transformation. You're no longer the man who chases validation. You're no longer the man who negotiates for basic respect. You're becoming the man who knows his worth and won't settle for less. And that man is unstoppable. That man attracts the right people because he's not desperate for anyone. That man builds a life so strong that relationships enhance it rather than define it. Every day you maintained your silence, you built discipline. The discipline to control your impulses, to manage your emotions, to stay centered even when you wanted to reach out. That discipline will serve you in every area of your life: career, health, relationships, everything. Because discipline is transferable. The strength you built in one area bleeds into all the others. You're stronger now than you were before, not just emotionally, but mentally and spiritually too. Silence gave you space. Space to think, space to heal, space to see clearly. You can now see the relationship for what it was, not what you hoped it would be. That clarity is priceless. It prevents you from repeating the same patterns with the next person. It helps you spot red flags earlier. It gives you the wisdom to choose better. And wisdom, once gained, can never be taken from you. The greatest gift of your silence? Peace. You're no longer in constant emotional turmoil. You're no longer waiting by your phone. You're no longer analyzing every interaction. You're just living. And that peace is what makes you truly powerful. Because when you operate from peace, you make better decisions. You attract better people. You create a better life. Peace isn't passive. Peace is the ultimate power move. If this message resonated with you, if you recognized yourself in this journey, I want you to know something. You're not alone. Thousands of men are waking up to their own value, choosing their peace, and walking away from situations that don't serve them. And that's not weakness. That's wisdom. That's strength. That's self-respect in action. If you found value in this video, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button for Inside Her Psychology. This channel exists to give you the truth about female psychology, not to manipulate, but to understand, to help you make better choices, to help you recognize your own worth. Because when you understand how psychology works, you stop taking things personally. You start seeing patterns, and patterns give you power. And drop a comment below. My silence is my power. Let me know you made it to the end. Let me know you're choosing yourself. Let me know this message landed, because your engagement helps this message reach more men who need to hear it. Men who are tired of chasing. Men who are ready to choose themselves. Men who deserve better and are finally ready to demand it. Remember, your silence wasn't a game. It was a decision. And that decision is what makes you undeniable. Not because you're trying to be, but because you finally stopped trying to prove yourself to someone who wasn't paying attention. You became undeniable the moment you decided you were enough. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and most importantly, stay true to yourself.